Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about my experience with jobs and all that stuff. Hopefully some of y'all can relate to this video because I haven't had the best experience. You know, it's not the worst in the world, but in my opinion, it's been a little annoying. So let's just get started. So in the summer between my sophomore and junior year, I was like pretty much a bum. And I realized like, hey, I need to do more productive things in my life. So, like, I think it was like August. I finally decided, I was gonna lock in. So for the last 2 weeks, I started locking in. I got my permit, permit for my license, so I could drive. I got that like 6 months after my birthday too. By the way, my birthday was March, so yeah, I got it like 5 or 6 months late. And then I actually tried to get a job, and I ended up getting a job at this local cafe. And this local cafe was actually pretty fire. Like, the food there was really good. My mom actually really liked the place, and she was the one who told me I should apply there. So I actually really liked the place. It was a very like chill place. Like, they let us play music on the speakers when we were like cleaning up and stuff, or we could just have our AirPods in, and it was actually very chill. So what I used to do there, I used to do after hours prep. So I used to prep food. Like, I'd cut up like chicken and like store it, and like I'd clean up the place a little bit, like just prepare stuff for the next day. And then I'd actually do a full shift every weekend. So like one of the days, either Saturday or Sunday, I'd do a full shift, and that was usually just comprised of me taking stuff out, like taking food out to people at tables, bringing dishes in, restocking like silverware, and I'd also dishwash a lot. So it was actually very chill, and I started that job, I'm pretty sure either a couple days or on my first day of junior year in high school, and it was really nice. I met a lot of cool people there, so it was a chill job. But how I ended up getting quote unquote fired, because I never actually got officially fired, how I got like laid off was I had my aunt's dad's funeral, or my grandpa. I'll just call him my grandpa. He's not actually my grandpa, but I'll just call him that for simplicity. So I had my grandpa's funeral, and that was in like late November 2024. So I took off, like I asked for off like pretty without a big ass notice, because he had just died, bro, and they were planning the funeral quick as fuck. So I'm like in person, I tell my boss in person, I'm like, his name is like Ryan or something, I'm like, yo Ryan, my grandpa just died, his funeral's in a couple days, so you mind if I take off and I'll like find someone to cover for me? And he's like, yeah, of course, Julian, I'm really sorry for your loss, take all the time you need, yada yada yada, I'll even find someone to cover you. I'm like, okay, bet, thank you so much, I really appreciate you understanding, yada yada yada. And I go to that funeral, and the week after that, when the schedule comes out, I get scheduled for one day. And this has happened before, so I'm not thinking too much of it. And also at the same time, I'm working my second job, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so I get one day in the schedule, and it's an after hours prep day, like type of day. So I had to come in after school. So I worked that little bit, and then I go on my way. And the next week, I just wasn't scheduled at all. And I was like, what the hell, dude? Maybe something was going on. So I just let it go. And the next week, I still didn't get scheduled at all. So at this point, I text my manager. I'm like, yo, Ryan, like, why am I not being scheduled? And he says, oh, a lot of the college kids are coming home, and they need to work. So we just put you and a bunch of other people on the back burner. Basically what he told me. I'm like, okay, listen, if anything opens up in the future, please let me know. I'd be completely down to work. And I guess nothing ever opened up in the future, because I never got a text or anything back from the dude. And that location that I worked at actually closed down a couple months ago. So they only have like one location like 20 minutes away now. So I guess maybe they just didn't have the money like that. I mean, I was only getting like $11 an hour, but who knows? There are a bunch of full-timers there, so probably just running short of money. So the second job I had that I got in, I think it was either September or October 2024. My dad, he was a manager in a car wash, or at a car wash in New Jersey. And he said, yo, Julian, like, if you want to work, you could work like a day or two a week. It's very chill. I'll even drive you down. I'll pick you up. And I'm like, okay, bet, sweet. I get to bond with my dad, who I never really got to bond with throughout my life because he was just not there. And I'm like, okay, I get to bond with my dad and make a little bit of money. You know, he was my manager, so he'd probably be chill. And yeah, but turns out my dad was like locked in on this shit. Like, he did not tolerate a lot, and he was very like strict, not even to me, but just to the people around me. And it was kind of annoying because, you know, I'd end up getting caught in the crossfire here because they'd be like, oh, you're not like this to your son here. And it was just like a whole thing. And I only started working like a day a week after that, and I actually made pretty good money. I got like $15 an hour there because that was the minimum wage in New Jersey. And then on top of that, where you hand out review cards to like customers at this car wash, and every review you get $5. And I was actually pretty good at this, I'd say, because I'd end up getting like the base amount, like $15. I'd work like 6 to 8 hours like a week. So I like come down on like, I think it was like Saturdays I'd come down. So I'd come down for 6 to 8 hours. I'd make like I can't do math, like 115 from all that, and then I'd make an extra 100 to 200 from the reviews. And for little 16-year-old me, that was a shit ton of money. I was basically Elon Musk at that point. And I was like balling out, bro, because I was working this car wash job and the cafe job I just talked about all at the same time. So I was making a pretty decent amount of money, and I just decided to spend it on bullshit. And yeah, but I did end up saving $1,000, and that would come in handy for the 3-month period where I didn't have a job, because in March, right after my 17th birthday, my dad ended up getting a new job as a manager at a different car wash. And I can't even blame him because this car wash was way closer to his house, and also he struck a deal with the managers, or not the managers, the CEO and like all those guys, all the higher up guys, that they would get him a whole ass new truck, and I forget, he had some other benefits, but yeah, they opened up a whole new location for him in the brand of this car wash, and he got a whole ass truck. And he got to work way closer to home. Like, he was it was like, instead of driving 45 minutes from his house to go to this car wash in New Jersey, he'd only have to drive like 5 to 10 from his house. So it was a win-win for him, but I kind of end up getting screwed out of this because, again, I didn't have that cafe job. And then I didn't have the car wash job. So I was pretty much fucked. But 3 months later, after tirelessly job searching, my dad ended up hooking me up at a different location in the same car wash company that he was working at now. And it's like 20-25 minutes away from my house, and that's where I currently work now. And I make a pretty good amount of money, and I have some fire-ass coworkers that they're like my only friends now after high school. So they're like the only people I talk to now other than my girlfriend and like some family. And well, I mean, I miss like the cafe job because that was really nice, and I actually also had some really nice people there, and it was way closer. I mean, I can't really complain with how I am right now. You know, a bag is a bag, and also I'm making a little bit of money off YouTube, so it's not like I need to work a shit ton anymore. So yeah, that's really my experience with jobs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to tell me your experience with your jobs down in the comments down below. Were they good? Were they bad? Were they meh? Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
You are the Apex Champions.